Greetings, royal queens and kings. It's your host, Queen Tulsa, and welcome to our Sunday fellowship. Oh my goodness, it is the end of the week, and I am very excited to announce that this fellowship Sunday Rising is with our special guest. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce our guest. All right.
Hey,
Our guest
Tulsa.
is Ty's Journey. Hey, how are you on this rising?
Balancing. How are you?
You know what? I won't complain. Well,
Ain't
today
no
we are
need.
here, okay? Because today we are here to fellowship on this Sunday rising, and also prepare ourselves mentally uh, for the new upcoming changes that are taking place as we speak. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, and we are back. It's amazing. And like I said, I won't complain. What I will do is I felt that it was put on my heart to come on and have a Sunday service today. And pretty much what resonated with me was my daily devotional. And so it was pretty much hold on one second. Ty, if you could just go on mute for a second because you got a lot of feedback.
Okay.
Okay. Um, so pretty much our daily devotion is how to respond well, right? And I felt like I needed to take the initiative and go ahead and just speak on it and how I feel about it, what it means to me, and also have our special guest, Ty's Journey, to also speak on it and see what it means to her. So I'll go ahead and read it and we'll go piece by piece, right? Okay, so how to respond well. Wise people take the time to verify information before choosing a course of action. April 7th, 2024. 2 Samuel 10, 1 through 8. Hannon, the king of the Ammonites, reacted to misinformation. His father had just died, so King David sent some servants to offer condolences. But Hanan's commanders convinced him that the visitors were spies coming to scope out his land without checking whether the accusation was true. He abused and mocked David's servants, which led to war. Okay, I'm gonna read the whole passage and we'll dissect. We've likely done something similar, though. Thankfully, it didn't lead to battle. Maybe we reacted to a rumor before confirming the information, or perhaps we failed to ask clarifying questions. And at one point or another, most of us have responded too quickly to a situation, striking back like a frightened animal before taking time to consider the godly response. And our reaction probably caused hurt feelings or embarrassment. Yet wisdom instructs us to respond differently. There are countless passages of scripture discussing the value of wisdom and how to acquire it from God. Spend some time this week looking up a few. Take notes on the ones that resonate most and see if you can find any common themes. Then ask God to teach you how to respond to others more slowly with grace and wisdom. James 1:19 through 20. Hi, Lily J. How are you? She says, hi, QT and Ty. Um, Let me ask you this. What are your thoughts on that? And how does that resonate with you?
It reminds me of the Bible verse. I don't know completely how it goes. What is it? Quick to listen and slow to speak. Um, Honestly, it resonated with me completely on this day. Giving the phone call and the release of the phone call, and how people have been on my line and leaving comments on, on my page. And you know, Jack made the statement about the spy, and everything that I look at in my life is always spiritual. It's never physical, right? It's always led by God.
Right.
And just giving my life since I've been on YouTube and what I've been through, a lot of people have just reacted, including myself. And today I just chose not to because I hit dog will holler, right? And we have to use our judgment. We have to be wise in what we do and how we respond to things, and how we behave, because we are accountable for it. And I'm not interested in a war. I'm not interested in chaos. I just want to stand for the truth. That's it. So that passage, that verse, I'm living it right now, today, in real time, because how I choose to respond to things, and how people are choosing to respond to me because of my truth. Um, just be slow to speak, and just listen. Put all the chaos out of it, and listen to the message. And sometimes people don't like the messenger, but the message is still there. So we just have to be wise in our movements, in our judgment, because people aren't always there to harm you, right? I mean, to see the good in you. They could be there to harm you, but even in that, God turns that around. What people have, you know, intent, to take this from you or do this from you, what God has for you is for you. Can't nobody take that away. Can't nobody tell you it's not yours. Nobody can tell you what God has shown you or what He has promised you. We're gonna go through, and we're gonna be tested, and we're gonna have trials and all of that. But if you stand faith in Him and stand firm in Him and believe in His word, can't fail. So when people intentions come in to spy on you, or to expose you, or to cause harm to you, it still turns out for your good. Still. Because then they win that war. Then they win the war.
Well,
Um,
listen, peep this out. So this goes, okay, so I'm going to start with the first passage because this is what you were speaking on. So this is 2 Samuel 10:1 through 8. Hanun, the king of Ammonites, reacted to misinformation. His father had just died. So King David sent some servants to offer condolences. But Hanun's commanders convinced him that the visitors were spies coming to scope out his land. Without checking whether the accusation was true, he abused and mocked David's servants, which led to a war. So when we think about this, because you were saying something about a phone call and being spied on, um, it's like, was any of the information being verified?
absolutely. And who has to verify the information, the one that was being infiltrated on, not the spectators. Um, and this that has been my whole experience. People just throwing out whatever slander, lies, some truths, and all of that, and they just went with it because someone said it was so. No one
But let's
stopped to
take it
check.
back. Let's take it back because we've all kind of been guilty of that. We hear something, we don't fact check, it just sounds good to our ears, and there we go into a reaction. Instead of us reacting, we should take time, step back, ask ourselves, okay, first of all, why is this affecting me? Why I'm upset? And how can I reach out to the person that maybe have said this in a respectful way, instead of going off the hinge and making uh, just jumping right into action and throwing them blows, and you did threw the blows at the wrong person because you didn't stop, think, and verify the information. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. That's why I said we all have been guilty of that at one time in our life. You have to learn your lessons, right? You'll repeat the same thing if you don't learn those lessons. And like I said, I stated before that I was guilty of that. The old me would have hopped online and hopped on panels and all of that.
Well, no,
It's
Ty.
unnecessary.
Let me say this. No, this topic isn't targeted towards you. I just invited
No,
you
no,
in on
no.
it, but no.
No. I'm speaking from experience. Oh, I don't feel like you're targeting me at all. I'm just
Okay.
saying the daily devotions is just fitting for my life and what I'm going through on this day. And I'm relating my life to it. You've never targeted me. Um, since we've apologized to each other and all of that and reconciled. So I don't feel that at all. I just thought we were having a conversation.
Yes, I wanted to still create that safe space for you. Sorry.
All right, I know, Tosa. I know. I know. But I've done it in my life, not just now. I'm 40 years old. I've done that, and just now where I am with just every area in my life, I just choose not to react to it. Let me sit. Let me take my time. Let me evaluate the situation. Let me pay attention to it. That's why I'm still sitting, still here in Texas, because the old me, I was a runner. I respond with anger, frustration. I felt attacked, and all those things. And now that I have put down all the bitterness and aggression, and picked up my Bible and been praying and meditating and all of that, I just know that it's wise to just sit sometimes.
Right. So that goes into our next actually this is the second passage, and we'll have like one more after this one. Says, "We've likely done something similar though. Thankfully it didn't lead to battle. Maybe we reacted to a rumor before confirming the information, or perhaps we failed to ask clarifying questions. And at one point or another, most of us have responded too quickly to a situation, striking back like a frightened animal before taking time to consider the godly response, and our reaction probably caused her feelings or embarrassment." You know what? I've totally been guilty of this, and you just shared your experience. Um, but let me say this: when you're in the moment, striking back feels good, don't it? It feels good.
Absolutely, it does. Because we're in our flesh. That's the flesh is weak, baby, and our
Yeah.
emotions dictate it, and it controls us to respond. And those things that people do to us, it triggers the unhealed parts in us. So whatever you're responding to, there's some insecurity there because you feel like you have to defend.
Hmm.
But that's where God comes into play. Say, vengeance is mine. But we forget that because we allow our emotions to be triggered and we respond to those things.
Absolutely. You know what? Um, I found myself in a predicament like that, and When I was in it, I didn't feel like it was a bad thing. Hey, Lily J, I didn't feel like it was a bad thing. I just, I was just, as they would say, stuck in my ways. But after doing the work and really learning, how to be accountable for my own actions, and I said it, yeah, learning how to be accountable because I didn't know how to be accountable. I was blaming everybody else, you know? So that takes us into our last passage. It says, "Yet wisdom instructs us to respond differently." There are countless passages of scripture discussing the value of wisdom and how to acquire it from God. Spend some time this week looking up a few. Take notes on the ones that resonate most and see if you can find any common themes. Then ask God to teach you how to respond to others more slowly with grace and wisdom. Do you feel like you found yourself there yet? Or how does that resonate with you? Ty, Ty, you still have us on mute. Okay, so I'll share how it affected me and how let's see. So I can basically say I fall to my coping skills. I, refer to what I'm learning through therapy, and I use that as like my go-to. That's like it's a crisis plan pretty much, and I just kind of go through those motions, and going through those motions of doing, following my crisis plan and things like that. It saved me a lot of heartache and pain because some things are just not worth addressing, and you know it doesn't serve me, so then I eliminate it, and I have now made little compartments of like, okay, maybe deal with this later, have open to conversation, and then the band is just like, um, this is just, just in the trash. And that's the permanent trash. Don't go back digging in the trash, So I just, forgive and forgive on a daily basis and ask for repentance on a daily basis, Seriously.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've learned that lesson. Okay, and it was a hard lesson. Took me some years to figure out that lesson. But I've learned it. Everything does not require a response. Everything does
That's
not require your
mm-hmm.
energy, your peace, your finances. Everybody is not your assignment either. It's to know, you know, when to give and when to take and what holds the value uh, to it. You have to stop and, like you said, and reflect. And why am I feeling this way, or why do I think this way, or why am I responding this way? And this is how uh, I feel.
And I'll say this, you're entitled, we are all entitled to our feelings, and we're all entitled to make choices even with our family, even when they don't agree. If I feel like you're not reciprocating good energy, and if I'm on the phone with you and I'm telling you all these good things, or hey, I might want to keep all 10 of my puppies, I don't need you saying that I'm crazy and why do I want to do this and all that. It makes me feel away. Like you don't support me. I don't care what it is. It's not like the money's coming out of your pocket to feed the dogs. Like, why wouldn't you want them to be in a safe environment? Like, I don't know. So I don't know. Like, and I say that with one of my particular family members. Don't know if they're watching, but sis, I'm gonna have to fall back on you because I just don't feel like the support is there. And I'm starting to um, to not have a care in my body because I have to do what's right for me, my husband, me, my husband, my family. Like, and if I have a group of women that are not related to me and that support me and all that I do, I don't need a family member standing around being the total opposite. Your blood, listen here, we're related by blood, but your support, this is what you're going to learn. Some people have great family relationships, some people have rocky ones. But I just say do what's best for you in all of your relationships. You have to protect you. At the end of the day, you have to protect you. Nobody's going to see after you like you're going to see after you besides the Lord, or your higher power. Let's say that, you know, but you gotta, yeah, I mean, some things you just gotta cut off and be okay with it. Start making those right choices for you. Start breaking those family generational cycles, you know?
Oh,
Those are
absolutely.
my
Absolutely. And sometimes people get it sooner than others.
hmm.
And when people are watching you, and your family, friends, your
Hi
children,
Maria.
they don't know your motives sometimes, or why you respond in the manner that you do. Only you know. And I think that's where support, those lines get blurred with support. If I support you, I support you until the point of where your choices are affecting me negatively. And then that's the difference. But when people project their thoughts and their emotions on you, and all of that in the name of support, because you watched, or you donated, or you fed, or you talked, or we grew up together, or whatever the case may be, when people begin to question you about what feels good to your soul, or what you think is right, they need to do a self evaluation on themselves. That's how I feel about it. With someone, people say, when they talk about people being in certain relationships, and they'll say, oh, that couldn't be me, right? I could never, I could never. And then, you have someone else say, I would have laughed right away, or I wouldn't stayed as long. But everybody experience and perception of life is different. And I think that people need to just accept that and understand that, because our walk is solely ours and ours alone. If you love me with the agape love, I'll take that over support any day, because naturally your love is going to support me. I think, people, this world has made people think that money and certain things is support, and that's not all that's to it. If my mind ain't right and my heart ain't right, it don't matter how much money you have offered me. That don't mean anything to me, because 9 out of 10, that money is going to create more sorrow in my life if I take it. So, to thy own self be true, and you do have to cut people off, especially if they don't mean any good to you, just because we're related, or because we grew up together, or we have children, or we were married, whatever it is. You have to accept where you are, and you have to make those decisions that's best for your soul, and that's good for your soul, and be okay with it. And this process, I've been mastering the art of letting go and accepting. If it didn't work, it just didn't work. And if there can be forgiveness and repentance, that's well too. uh, and if not, that's okay. But people are so judgmental, because you you looking at someone else, and you're quick to say, oh, I wouldn't do that, or that doesn't make sense to me. Well, I can look at your life and say, I wouldn't do that, and that doesn't make sense to me. Well, who am I to judge you for your journey? for your lessons. See, your path is different than mine. If God had to take me through the valley just one more time than he had to take you, who are you to tell me that, I ain't worthy of the grace or of the mercy or of the favor? If we all are part of this, the source or God, whatever you believe in, your higher power, you know that we are all one and we are connected. So my journey is definitely different from yours, but it's okay for me to walk away if you're not serving me. And you have to learn to be okay with that. And that's where I am. Learning to be okay with life as it is. Finding the peace in the midst of the storm, even if I am confused, even if I have made poor choices, but I know that me and God, we got this. So now I am slow to respond. I do ask questions and I do take self inventory in my life a little bit more than I ever have now. I am more accountable, I am more aware, but I know that my life at the end of the day is mine. I have to answer to God for whatever choices I made or the universe or whatever I put in, you reap what you sow. And I've learned about that word support. Oh, it's a heavy, heavy price. When people say, oh, I supported you, but the minute that you've done something they don't like, they snatch it away. So did you really support me or not? Especially if my choice have not offended you directly. Uh, you know, so where I am now is slow to speak, quick to listen. Because I was opposite. I had to defend myself because I felt like who was going to do this, but now I know who will, and it's in the spiritual. It's spiritual. It's not even someone walking this earth that I know that would defend me like God at the end of the day, because we're still human and we still have emotions, and to be human is to err. So I've learned to put my faith not in man. And people spectate and they think your life is away because of what someone else said or the little glimpse of what um, they may had seen or you may share with them. In reality, no one sees your whole life but God. You and God. um, so that's where I am. I'm taking my time on my choices and my decisions, and just being humble and grateful, because I'm surely not where I used to be. And I celebrate myself a little more than I ever had. And I realized that someone's opinion of me is not even mine. It doesn't belong to me, it's theirs. And today I celebrate me, because the old me would have, I would have responded and I would have answered text messages and I would have done all these things. And even prior to that, last week with all that stuff, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Um, so when people support you, I just tell people to support with love, true love, agape love. That can never steer you wrong. But when you insert yourself in someone's life, um, for what? For your intentions, you probably want to question yourself. And I had to learn that too. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Did God tell me to do this? Or am I choosing to do this myself? Even in the word, in the beginning, why Eve was even created was to be a helper.
Let me
and they
jump in
did
right
what
there.
they did.
So right there in that moment, what assignment are you on right now?
My assignment to self, my faith journey. This is about me and God, not not anything else. That's where I am.
How
That's
much
my journey.
right? Let me ask you this. So I know, you're pretty much known on here for your relationship with Jaguar, right? Now that, things have taken turns and, her sister, we finally know who she really is. Um, do you plan on having any contact or relationship with the people that were not beneficial mentally to you in the past? Will you be working with them or associating with them going forward?
That part of me is dead. Okay. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What is it? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I have no interest. We have nothing to talk about. I
So
don't want to sit
listen,
at
in
your
this moment,
table.
we'll ask for forgiveness knowingly, unknowingly. um can you just send that out into the universe? And it's okay if you say their names.
Oh,
Please forgive me, such and such. Please forgive me. And let's write it off on this day.
Tosa, I'll say this to you. I've been asked for forgiveness before today. It didn't take today for me to ask for forgiveness to those that I've offended. Now, and I've asked for forgiveness to those that I've offended in a way for months.
Hey, in this moment, sister, let's it's deprogramming and reprogramming.
No, 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 no,
Today,
no.
today we say we're moving forward, correct? That's what you just said, that you're moving forward.
But here's
So if
Tosa.
we confess it with our mouths,
Go
it
ahead,
makes
I'm
a
a listen.
difference. When you
Absolutely.
confess with your mouth, it makes a difference. Today we are moving forward. And if you want me on your team to push you, let me just say this, and nobody knows this. There are people that secretly donate, that secretly want to donate because I'm working on some classes. Some people are saying, hey, well, when your class gets started, let me know and I can donate towards some of those classes to people that can't afford it. So the way that I'm rolling, I'm leaving the past in the past. Those people that are not beneficial, they gotta go. I'm making room for new people that want to come in, that want to grow, and that's going to take it serious and not waste their time nor mine. And one of the rules in the class is confessing what it is that you see and that you want.
So I'll say this to you, and this is what I was just mentioning to you. Your perception of me is not all. It's not all of me. So you tell me on this day what I must confess and what I have to move on from. And I say this to you: if I have not already confessed these things and I have not moved on with these things, especially with God, I wouldn't be able to sit here with you and have this conversation. I have not sat on those panels since I learned those lessons. So I've already asked for forgiveness, and I don't have to continue to ask for forgiveness. You ask it once, and it's up to that person to choose if they want to forgive or not. It is no longer my responsibility. I've been moving forward
Okay,
in
well,
my life. It
let's
has
just say this.
reflected that.
Let me just say this because now, I'm not a sugarcoater. Your content is stale. You're talking about the same thing. You're talking about Jaguar. It's not beneficial. And if that's what you want to continue to do, like I said, I've left things alone and I've texted you. I don't want to hear about Jaguar. I don't want to hear about none of that. What I'm doing is going forward. So apparently you don't want to go forward. So I can't force you to go forward. But
That
unfortunately, I have to let it go. I've got to leave people behind. Got to leave you behind. I've tried. I've given opportunities. But if someone isn't serving me, if somebody is not reciprocating, you know, you're asking for help. I'm putting myself out there. I'm not able to do it anymore. And I'm to the point now where I have so many things going on. Don't waste my time. I don't have a minute to spare. I don't have a minute to spare. So today I made the choice to move forward. Those are with me, those that get it. I'm responding well. I'm throwing out what I'm seeking, what I'm doing. We're moving forward. If you want to be a part of the team, let's just go ahead. Let's knowingly, unknowingly, because it's still relevant, it's still there. I'm still getting, you know, before we even got on the phone, she's telling me about Jack's conversation. I don't want to hear about her. I don't want to hear about her. And if that pisses you off, then oh well. If you have to survive off that content, just say it. But the Queen Tulsa show is moving forward. On that note, I love you all. Pushing forward is no beating around the bush. It's no sugarcoating it. It's not baking it. It's not doing this. It's not doing that. I'm good and I'm moving forward. I love you. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm not about to roll around in dirt with the pigs and the dogs and all that. Either you want something out of life or you don't. It's either you want it or you don't. Because if somebody's saying, I have people that are saying, hey, when you get your classes and stuff started, I'm willing to donate. You don't know how I would jump on that. Oh, really? Somebody wants to help? All right. Well, let me start getting myself together. Let me start preparing myself for greatness. Yeah, but now you're coming in from your backup pages, sweetheart. We gotta I'm just not going for it. And it is what it is. Get with it or get out. And I'm showing grace on so many levels. I'm showing grace and gratitude on so many levels. I'm not bringing up what they did to me and how all that. That's the past. What are you doing today? I can't think about yesterday, tomorrow, and all. I'm when tomorrow gets here, I'll work with tomorrow. I'm going forward. People are stuck in neutral. You stay stuck in neutral. I'm in drive with no brakes. I gotta go.